Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. It's Tuesday, so that means we do a tarot spread. Tuesday, tarot, Tuesday. I make intentions for myself to wake up crazy every Tuesday. I'm just going to increasingly get crazier until I'm going to be too much to handle. And that's fine. So I literally just had a brain fart. Dude, do you know what a brain fart is? I could not remember for the life of me how my iPad was supposed to set on this stand and which side was the microphone. It was like I had never worked this piece of machinery before. So I gotta watch my crazy intentions because I might be manifesting them fairly quickly. All right, so I'm excited to do tarot. I was a little bit geez, I don't know which one to do, but then I decided I have a lot of tarot spreads. I'm hoarding them over on Instagram. Let me close this heavy drawer. I'm hoarding them. I'm not closing them. I'm hoarding them over on Tarot Spread Layout. I have 70. I know. That's plenty, honey. 70 tarot spreads will keep you busy for a lot of Tuesdays. And so we did I think the last one, did we do the Mabon one? Was that the last one? Since then, I've posted 8 of them. And before that, I had a whole bunch that I haven't even looked at. But I wanted to hold them in case I needed to understand my anger, or I had a burning issue, or I wanted to do a what's on your mind, or how to forgive. I have all these great ones. I have funny ones. Solstice Shop makes good ones all the time. I feel like I just go to her page and do her latest one. They're always so good. And actually, I think we're going to do one of hers today. But she two that I was like, oh my gosh, these are so fun. There's one that's called Time to Fuck This Shit Up, which it's that's it. This shit is holding me back, and it fucking has to go. So please, if you are on Instagram, please follow me. Maybe we'll do this one in a couple weeks. It's called Witchy Ways. How can I best connect with my inner witch? I really like Be the Light one. This one is from Starseed Academy. Yeah, between Solstice Shop and Starseed Academy, I guess those are my all-time favorites. Although I've got some other favorite ladies that, I definitely follow a lot. But I think what we're gonna do today, and I hope that you're not gonna be sad now that I read you some of these other cool ones, and you're gonna be disappointed we're not doing those, because you can go find them and do them yourself. But I feel for me, I don't know about you, but I feel I need to have more playfulness in my life. I think turmeric last week really set that vibe for us, maybe just a little bit more playfulness, please. Color your fabric and, do something. So today we're going to do a fairy tarot spread, because another reason is if you listen to channelings and, a lot of things like that, forecasts, spiritual forecasts, they are my ears are toning a little bit as I say this. They are definitely predicting, foretelling of some harsher times, right, ahead of us, challenges. And sometimes it's like, you know, we fall into that, like, oh God, it's gonna get worse, or, you know. And so this morning, like, I'm kind of entertaining this idea that, you know, I don't really take anyone's prediction as my own, because it might get bad for some people, but it doesn't necessarily, life doesn't necessarily have to get hairy scary for me. And maybe it's because, like, it always has a standard low grade hairy scary fever. Maybe, like, my life always kind of is and I'm just used to it. But I'm saying, like, in the world, you know, like, a lot of people are saying, get ready, they're going to announce things that are going to shake the world up, and it's going to be awful and put people into shock, and they're going to do another mandatory lockdown, and, you know, things like this. And, well, I feel like, hey, thanks for the heads up of that potential. All well and good. But, you know, at the beginning, middle, and all throughout the day, I'm still going to choose to live a fairy life. So, who's with me? Who just needs to have a little fun today, a little lightness, a little playfulness, focus on the good stuff. Like, we just need a little break from the inner work. Like, even though that's haha funny, we never get a break from the inner work. I'm doing so much every night. I can feel it. It's in my dreams. I'm working out issues all night in my dreams. Thank God I'm still waking up happy. Like, I'm remembering my dreams. Like, it's like, wow, okay. Definitely doing a lot of work in the astral realm. Thank you, Jesus. You were right. We should not be taking our phones with us to bed. They definitely are interfering, because instantly within a few days of not taking my phone to bed, which has been a total struggle, and, you know, I had to figure out. Like, my brain's like, what do I do without my phone? Honey, you pick up the fucking book. That's what you do. And you meditate and you sleep. Like, I've been sleeping so good. So anyways, I've been doing a lot of work anyways. We do a lot of work every fucking Tuesday. Like, the tarot deck seems to just continuously hand us our ass. And today I just saw this fairy tarot spread by Solstice Shop. And there's this sweet little fairy who looks like she would be friends with our plantain, innocent, naive, unaware, orange-haired girl that's meditating on her plantain lotus from yesterday. And so I just was like, you know what? Yes, that's the energy that I feel like we just need to be playful today. So it's just a 3-card spread. There's so much glitter on this picture. Okay, so there's boop, 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 3 slightly descending, floating cards that we're going to pull. The first one is how to bring more playfulness into your life. The second one is a message from my inner child. And the third one is a fairy dust blessing coming my way. See how light that is? Like, that didn't even take us into doom and gloom one bit. And I just feel like, listen, you guys, the doom and gloom might be around. It might be been buttered on pretty thick in the future. However, you still have a choice of who you align your energy with. And if you consciously invite fairy energy into your life, it will help you be playful, even probably when you shouldn't be, but that will, you know, in that sweet, innocent, slightly tricksterish, boy, that's a slurry word for me, tricksterish, because it's not probably even a word, the fairies will help everything. I know sometimes they get like a bad rap that they're like tricksters and they trick you and they want to mess with you. Not if you become a fucking fairy yourself, okay? You'll enjoy it so much. So anyways, I invite you to hang out with me today. Do the Fairy Tarot Spread by Solstice Shop. Shop-A. It's a shop with 2 P's and an E. Solstice Shop. And then you know what? If you're just feeling dark today, because it is a full moon Thursday, I just finally started bleeding. Good Lord. And I'm like, thank you. Am I like one of the only people that's like, I'm so happy to be having my period. I am so happy for everyone else around me and in my psyche that I'm finally bleeding. Now I can quit trying to devour people's souls. So anyways, but if you don't like the fairy one, go over a tarot spread. There's Into the Shadows over there, a tarot spread for restoring ourselves, a couple spreads to help you if you got a new deck. There's deck interview spreads, magical vibes, all that kind of stuff. You can trust me, I've literally collected the best of the best, and I'm still hoarding them now and then. Hopefully I'll stop before it gets too crazy. But here's the thing. These creatives keep pumping out such good ones. And when they're colorful and beautiful, or really hit that sweet spot like of wanting to know. But what I don't do too much of is astrological stuff. So I keep the page pretty... like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but there's some people that like do like the new moon in Aries, the second quarter of the fourth star of Taurus, like, you know, and it gets a little confusing. So anyways, are you ready for Tarot Tuesday? This affirmation minute is brought to you by our super available herb of the week, plantain. And I thank you so much for being here with me. I am willing to release suffering. I appreciate the laws of nature. I nourish myself and others with a compassionate heart. I adjust my energy into a more balanced state. I am a joyful being. I trust my instincts and intuition. I am willing to release suffering. I appreciate the laws of nature. I nourish myself and others with a compassionate heart. I adjust my energy into a more balanced state. I am a joyful being. I trust my instincts and intuition. And so it is. All right, we had to get our plantain affirmations in there. I am a joyful being, right? And now, you know that I absolutely love reading the Daniel Scranton channelings on my YouTube channel because they're awesome. But another reason I love syncing up with his work is because it is in sync with my life. Okay, so listen to this. I've been waiting for him to post on his blog. I wait till he posts on the blog before I even look or read. Do you know what I mean? Like, he does his video, and you know, he does all his postings, but I wait until he blogs it, and then I'm like, okay, my turn. My turn to read your work. So anyways, I was like waiting to see what he wanted to talk about today. And it's the newly awakened and massive changes on Earth. But this is what I mean. Like, he was saying that, like, what did he say about joy? So sometimes he just says stuff that's so in sync with what I'm thinking. And so first of all, he said that, like, by refusing to fit into nice little neat pigeonholes so others can feel comfortable around us. And that's kind of what I was stepping into. Like, listen, everyone else might be getting fearful and angry and separated and disturbed, but you can choose to be a happy, joyful fairy. Okay? And then it was saying that, like, you know, and if you do choose to be the light for humankind, then you become, you know, the leaders and the mentors and the guides for other people who are just waking up. And what we can do is, like, those of us who have been woke for years, you know, and we've had a hell of a time, we can try to make it easier and more joyful for the newly awakened people, because they don't need to like hopefully go through some of the stuff that we did, and hopefully they can feel more supported and less alone in their awakening. So it's like, it was kind of just saying, this was like a different kind of forecast, saying like, yeah, like maybe the world is kind of gonna get a little hairy, scary, but you have a really important role to play. You know, you have a really important role by holding your vibration high and maintaining it and sending love and light into the grids of the earth and doing your work. So anyways, it just was kind of fun. That's like, wow, like I just love how everything syncs up in my life, and you know, it's just really fun. Hashtag fairy life, okay? All right, so are you ready to just pull a couple, just three, not even a couple. We're going to do a few cards. I'm going to use the Herb Crafters Tarot, of course. I've just been using it, although I am like totally open someday to maybe buying, as I learn more about the tarot and I journey over at Herbal Marie with the Herbal Tarot. And the Herb Crafters Tarot has been such an amazing experience. I am open to maybe someday inviting in a third tarot deck. Although it would technically be my fourth, because I have one upstairs that spiritual chick Mel gifted me. It's just a little pipsqueak, though. I don't have any plants on it. Okay. All right, she threw it in with the grace cards when I bought those from her. So sweet. Such a sweetie. Okay, let's get it shuffled. I guess I could have gotten it shuffled, but I was too busy switching the laundry. I was laughing so much to myself. So I put I'm doing my clothes today, and I wash my clothes on delicate, because like, I like a lot of like different fabrics, and you know, I wear old lady clothes, so you wash them on delicate, okay? But I had so many dirty clothes this week that I decided to do it the way I used to do it, which is separating it into 2 loads according to fabric. So I have like one mostly cotton load, and then then the next load is like the synthetic fabrics, you know, the silks, the satins, the polyesters, because they dry differently in the dryer. You know, the synthetics do not need to be dried for as long, and you can use a low heat, and then they're less staticky. So anyways, there's a whole science behind it. So I'm putting my synthetics in the dryer, and I push start, and I hear clink, clink, clink. And I'm like, well, I can't be having that because I'm recording a podcast. So I take out my fleece hoodie that has the zipper. I push start again. Clink, clink, clink. I was like, what the heck? I was like, oh, there's that zippered, like, do you ever wash stuff in a pillowcase because it's extra delicate? So I was like, all right, I'm going to take that out. Okay, I'm like, should be good to go. I close the door, I push start. It seems pretty quiet, but then I hear tap, 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 tap. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And I know exactly what it is. It's my zippered pouch that I took to Living Treasure Zoo that fell in the goat poop. And I was like, I better wash that. So I was like, all right, open the dryer one more time, take out my little zippered wristlet, my little pouchy thing that I like to keep my wallet and loose change in. Take that out. I'm like, push start for the 4th time. And then I hear another freaking tapping sound. And I was like, now what is it? Like, so I open it up and I spy the culprit. It's a sweater that has buttons. So I was like, oh, buttons are going to be a problem too. So then I take that sweater out, and then another sweater that I knew had buttons on it. And then finally I push start, and it's as quiet as the dryer can be. I can still hear it running, but that's fine. Nothing is clanging, clanking, blinking, tapping, or ticking. So we can carry on. Because after we pull these 3 cards, I might try to record a couple chapters of the Course in Miracles, because I miss it. I haven't read it out loud for a few days. And I know the next chapter is super long and I cannot do it all in one sitting. So I might as well just do a little bit if I can get it together before the kids get up, but it's already 9:24, so might be reaching a little too high. And then my mom might visit again today, 2 days in a row with my nephew, which is fine because my kids love to play with their cousin, but it does throw me off. It totally throws me off, you know, and you have to like entertain and not do any of the work. It's hard to focus. It's fine. I'm sure I'll just start cleaning. That will make my mother happy. Like if I start cleaning like a maniac, she would be like, good, you're doing something. You're doing something that matters instead of always shuffling cards. Okay, here we go. How to bring more playfulness into your life. Well, just invite it in, okay? Regardless of what card we pull here, it goes left to right, you guys, and just slightly downward sloping as we go 1, 2, 3. Not a harsh diagonal or nothing. It's like just a little fluttery hop down, okay, for each card. But you know, it doesn't really matter what card we pull in to answer the question, how to bring more playfulness into your life, even if you don't have cards, or you know, just invite playfulness into your life. Just decide, I'm going to be more playful. Say, I like to be playful. I enjoy being playful. I love being playful. I invite more playfulness into my life. I bring more playfulness into my life, and so it is. How to bring more playfulness into your life. Go ahead and shuffle, cut, pick with your intuition, however you want to pull a card. Now this one's coming up from almost the middle. It's stuck on my finger. I love that when that happens. And I guess I'll just set the deck on my lap. It just wants to be on my lap today. How to bring more playfulness into your life. We've got that one that I don't know how to pronounce. Ocotillo. It's the Adelita of water. She's basically made a Kool-Aid with the blossoms of this plant, and she's pouring herself the cutest little blue cup of pinkish red tea out in the desert by this Ocotillo, Ocottillo, Ocotillo, okay? Okay, ese. It's a desert plant. We've got it before. I can't even think what it means except for like maybe refreshment. There is now they're like in a desert, but they're by a water, like a stream or a creek. I don't know what you would call it out in the desert. And maybe she made it right there because she's like standing. There's some like grasses, and the blossoms are really cool. They almost remind me of wings. Ooh, like fairy wings. Our little fairies are saying how they've spread out at the top of the spiky stem. Yeah, they could be little like fairy wings or crowns or decorations. Let's see, Adelita. Now, in this deck, the Adelitas are the warriors. And so, how to bring more playfulness into your life. We did get a card that might have something to do with activism, drive, and autonomy. And the Adelita cards feature plants that are controversial in some way. Okay. So maybe we'll have some fun ruffling feathers. Why would this plant be controversial? Why would oregano be controversial? Like, okay, the Adelita of air is oregano. The Adelita of fire is cayenne. The Adelita of earth is yucca. And we got the Adelita of water, Ocotillo. So here's what they say. How to bring more playfulness into your life. Okay. First, the fairies say, protect your heartwood, but let your love blossom. So first they want to just acknowledge that, yes, it's hard for us to jump into playfulness if every week we get together on Tuesday and try to figure out how the hell to heal ourselves. And like, we've been very open with each other, me, myself, and I. We've been very open with each other that we have been hurt. We literally have had to pluck and pull the shards out of our heart. Thank you, Plantain, for helping us do that this week. Just understand that, like, sometimes we have to spend some time in our darkness and our grief and our pain in order for us to integrate it and heal it and learn the lesson, and then ultimately shine the light and heal ourselves. So she's saying, our little fairy friend is saying with the Ocotilio, we understand you can protect your heartwood because that's just naturally what you want to do right now. But while you're in that cocoon protection, right, holding that space for yourself, keeping yourself comforted or feeling of protection, let your love blossom. Yeah, protect your heartwood, but let your love blossom. Let your love blossom. So even if you are like me, like right now, like, oh, it's far and few that I'm letting in there, okay? Like Baba Yaga is really on my side this week. I've been reading her little book, and she totally is just reminded me that's like, I need to go into my silent space where I take no one and I can sing and dance and cry and act like a crazy wild woman, whatever I need to do. But until I know that quiet, silent, empty, but full of myself space, until I know it inside and out, how would I ever know who I would even want to take there, to invite there? And maybe nobody, right? So I'm just really having this good experience with myself lately. And it's like, yeah, I'm allowed to keep my protection up, but let my love blossom. Let it start to grow. Let that fire get solid in its start, so that it can blossom and blossom and grow and glow and flame. So how else to bring more playfulness into your life? They do say strong boundaries create healthy relationships. So I feel like it's like, well, what the hell does that have to do with your playfulness? Well, sometimes you have, like Baba Yaga was saying, like, you have to sort of have a fence. Like in this space, I am playful, and I might have to keep the unplayful fuddy-duddies out. The negative Nellies, I'm sorry, you're not allowed in here. This is my playful space. Right? So it's like, healthy, strong boundaries sometimes is healthy for you to maintain your playful space. And instead of getting mad at somebody, like, listen, you can't be in here trying to put out my playful fire, you just maintain your boundaries. You protect your heartwood so that you can give yourself a playpen. Now they're showing me a playpen. Like how, like, you put a little baby in the playpen so they stay in one spot. You sort of have like your own playpen that, like, you went ahead, you're a little older baby now, and you've laid your blanket over the top to make yourself a little play cave, right? And that's where you are, a tent. It's like, this is my space. It was like me when I was under the willow tree as a kid at my grandmother's house. That was like my space. Like, I didn't really ask anybody to go down there and play with me. Like, I wanted to go down there by myself so I could finally sing and have fun and do whatever I wanted. Now, it always, if you've heard this story, it always led to me, like, I felt like the willow tree wanted me to swing on her branches like a monkey. Well, when I got to that point, I would get in trouble because, you know, my parents and my grandmother, not my parents, my grandparents would still be watching me, and I would get yelled at for breaking off branches. So until that point, I was in my own space, or at least I thought I was, having a real good time. But then anyways, yeah, then I got in trouble for having too much fun. All right, but now, how to bring more playfulness into my life? Here's our answer. The fairies say, give your whole heart to your cause. So how do you bring more playfulness into your life? You let your love blossom. You give yourself, you create a safe space for you to be playful, and you give your whole heart to your cause. You literally pour your heart into what you're doing, what you're playing, what you're feeling, how you are experiencing. You're going to need to let your love blossom and your heart open up to the point where you can utilize and use your whole heart in your cause, right? So that could be serious, that could be playful. You could be very serious about being playful. You know what I mean? You could bring playfulness into your seriousness, but the way you do that is by giving your whole heart, letting your love blossom, and then, making sure that you do protect and maintain your playful space. Like, don't let anybody rain on your parade or crap in your Cheerios or whatever. Like, you need to be serious about protecting your playfulness. It's like whenever my son always says, it's time for mom to go crazy, like around 10:30. He says I've been up too long or up past my bedtime, and I will laugh like a goon. I don't let their judgment or scorn or embarrassment or their disdain deter me one bit from getting that laugh out and wholeheartedly enjoying my laugh, because it doesn't happen every night. But when it does happen, it's like a gift to me. Like, oh my God, this insane humor has found me, right? I let myself open up. Yes, it's late at night because it took me all day to get here. And the laughter has arrived, and I let it out. And I don't care if I'm the only one in the room or I have everybody staring at me. Like, I am seriously giving my whole heart to this invitation, to the divine humor that is coming through me. So anyways, there's some answers of how to bring more playfulness into your life. Now, I know I got some nerds here, and they're like, well, what is this plant? But what's going on here? So I just want to read it because, like the Ocotillo, what is it? What's going on here in this card? There is a young woman who's on a solo hiking retreat in the desert. So how to bring more playfulness into your life? Spend more time with you, with yourself, alone, having fun with you and your imaginary friends and fairies, like you did as a kid. So anyway, she's setting up her camp near an Ocotillo cactus. So this is a type of cactus, which I think is cool because, like, in our homeschool this week, we're learning about all the states in alphabetical order, and we made it up to Arizona, and their state flower is the cactus flower, the cascarina, I don't know. Do you know the big cactus is like 50 feet that starts with a C? That flower is their state flower. I'm the worst student. So anyways, this plant is crowned with vibrant pink blossoms, and it overlooks a river. Okay, that's a river running through the canyon. So it's a bright blue sky. There's fluffy clouds. She's added the flowers to water to make tea, and it's changed the liquid to a delicate pink. So this Adelita of water is committed to nurturing her spirit. So that answers again how to bring more playfulness into your life. Well, you need to commit to yourself and nurturing your spirit. So as you nurture your spirit, you will be more apt to be more playful, because you're allowing yourself to be more of who you truly are, right? So she knows that time alone allows for the discovery of her innermost desires. And let me just tell you, there's nothing better than like having a laugh with yourself. Like, I love it so much, especially when something genuinely cracks me up in my head, or a card that I pull, or something I read in a book that makes me laugh out loud. So I was reading The Way of Passion, a celebration of Rumi, the other night, Monday night, or Sunday night, what was it? Whenever I got that synchronicity of a lion from Archangel Ariel. And so that was fun to me. But then a few paragraphs later, Andrew Harvey was talking about, if you light a stick of incense, it has to burn for the scent to be released. And if you want to, spread the beautiful fragrance throughout the world, the whole house needs to burn down. And he was saying that like the same thing needs to happen with us. So like if we feel like we are being burnt and we are losing our ego self, and we're literally like, sometimes I just feel like I'm going to be destroyed by my spiritual work and everything that I do. I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. It's killing me. It just made me laugh so much, because it's like, yeah, it has to kill you. It's only if your spiritual work completely disintegrates you and turns you to dust have you then released all of your beautiful fragrance. Now, don't take this literal. This is like, don't anybody light me on fire. But I'm just saying, we have to let ourselves burn. We do. Everything that is not us, let it burn away. But then let the flames of passion rise up in us and just be on fire with playfulness and beauty and love. And it just literally made me laugh. I don't know. It just was so funny. And then another time this week that I literally laughed out loud and almost startled myself was when the Arcturian said, we don't mean to induce fear in you, because humans are fearful enough just as it is. I don't know why, the way they said it was so funny. It just made me laugh because it was true. But anyways, you gotta just, commit to yourself, to your time alone, to playfulness, to giving yourself that time to just be without anybody influencing you or judging you. It's like an influence. So giving yourself that sacred space to have your own playtime, like I'm going to go play now by myself, that really does nourish. It's like a type of self-care. And that's what the Ocotillo, teaches us too. As the inner heartwood of the Ocotillo is used as sturdy building material, she vows to be a model of self-care. Just as the beautiful flowers of the Ocotillo remain safe at the top of the tall plant that is covered in hidden thorns, she shares her heart with brilliant flair while keeping it safe and protected from harm. She has a deeply caring center, but will battle to protect her boundaries when it comes to love. So I guess the fairies just knew where we were at, and some of you who are just clinging to your defensiveness were perhaps at. And it's like, listen, you can still maintain your sense of protection, as you should. You should protect your your heart and your boundaries, but don't hold back your light and your love and your laughter. Don't hold back your flair. You can still be absolutely ultra fabulous and fun and tap into the fairy energy and do so, even more so, knowing that you can do so while being protected. So anyways, warm your heart. How to bring more playfulness into your life? Warm your heart. Know that your boundaries are sacred. And, maybe connect with the cactus, because buy a little cactus for on your windowsill to remind you that your boundaries are sacred. Okay, your playful spirit is sacred. Make maybe some sun tea if you have access to this plant. Bring in this plant into your body to remind you and help you warm your heart and let your love blossom. Okay, so you can protect your heart, yet still at the same time give your whole heart to your cause of playfulness. All right, so let's take 27 minutes on every card we do. I'm like, we're just going to pull a couple quick cards. And I have intentions to do all this other stuff. Well, that's probably not going to happen. Although this might be a good day for me. Since I really do want to read some from the Course in Miracles, I might just have to lock myself in my bedroom and narrate in there a little bit, since at some point I get kicked out of the space down here. All right. Second card, you ready? A message from my inner child. Although I feel like that was happening for me, reflecting back on my memory of playing underneath the willow tree. Like, I forget about that, and then I'm often reminded of that. I feel like that's my inner child reminding me of how important that was. And so let's see what else our inner child wants to say to us. A message from my inner child. A message from my inner child. And maybe that's why the protection vibe was there with the Ocotillo, so that our inner child can feel that it's safe to come out to play. It's safe. Boy, we are just shuffling all fucking day, aren't we? There we go. Oh, 2 cards are in my hand. And I mean, there was no avoiding it. And I think they came out, one from the bottom and one from the middle, but they're both in my hand. So I guess this is going to go like, don't let anybody try to pigeonhole you. Like, yes, I am doing the fairy tarot spread by Solstice Shop. And it's like, yes, it's only 1, 2, 3. However, my inner child says, well, guess what? I feel like, and I'm going to keep these cards exactly the way that I'm holding them, because like the corners are connected. Like it changes the whole look of the spread, but apparently that's what my inner child wanted to do. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine, sure. Okay, well, what came out was a sunflower and a yucca. So the sunflower is the magician. It is reversed, however. Doesn't really matter though, because it's like the sunflower itself is pretty symmetrical, and the things that are on this wooden table can, be looked at either way. However, we are getting the magician reversed. That is on top, ever so slightly on top of the Adelita of Earth. So now we have 2 Adelitas. We got the yucca, and she's making that Bridget's cross with the yucca leaves. And what's really funny is my ex-husband offered me a yucca plant that he has growing at his house, his mother's house that he's living at. His mom passed on in January. But anyway, so he's there now. And he offered me one, and I didn't take it because, one, I felt like she planted it there, it should stay there. But two, and I wasn't sure like where I would even put it here, because everything's just like a clusterfuck at my house right now, and the garden's just destroying itself for whatever reason, and I just like didn't. However, I know where one is, and I might have to do this craft at some point. And she also has a woven bracelet that's looks like Celtic knots, but it's made with some type of grass. It's a natural looking bracelet, I feel like. Now, on the magician, there are sunflower seeds that are in the design of a infinity symbol. And then there are some casting charms. They're metal. They just really look like little pendants that you would use to make a necklace. They even like have a hole, like where you would string, them onto something. There's a basket, a mortar and pestle, a tea kettle, and then a crescent moon. Now, those would be reversed too. So I feel like, without even looking in the book, obviously, with the yucca craft, and there's a mortar and pestle and a basket, and making a design, like I feel like my inner child says, please make more things, right? Even if you're just playing with sunflower seeds on a table, put them into a cool design, put them into the figure 8, play with casting charms, play with your runes, play with your cards, use your hands. Use your hands. Be the magician, be the creator that you've always derived enjoyment from and satisfaction. So a lot of times, like, I think like I quit crafting because like what I'm making really isn't sellable or appreciable or pretty. But do you ever just make stuff and you're like, I just love making it? Like, it's really like I just love to make things. And I really have gotten away from that, mostly because I'm making things with my mouth and my voice more than anything now. I'm making podcasts and stuff like that. But my hands and would like some action. And I do understand that, because like, some, like if I have to listen to a video, like if I listen to the Tina Louise Spalding videos, or I like to listen to White Cloud. What is her name? Hold on, I want to tell you about somebody else that you might enjoy. It's who is she? And I have something on cue. I didn't get a chance to listen to it the other day. Blossom? Her name's Blossom, maybe? Yeah, Blossom Goodchild. I like to listen to some of hers too, like if they're a White Cloud, or she channels some type of a council as well. It's very interesting. The Federation of Light, channeled by Blossom Goodchild. So I will listen to that. It's like 13 minutes. And anyways, my point is, when I'm sitting there just listening, my hands love to do something. So for a while I had something I was knitting that wasn't even anything. I was just knitting to knit. And my inner child says, yeah, and I like it when you do that, and you like it when you do that. So please make things with your hand. Get some more yarn, for the love of God. Do you know? So I haven't made infinite. Oh my God, hilarious! I make these infinity scarves. That's so funny, because there's the infinity symbol right in front of me as I'm slowly being led to the awareness of what this means to me personally. And I was thinking, I haven't made those for a couple years, and that would be a good Christmas gift, and maybe people need a new one. And you work with that hometown soft acrylic yarn, like the bigger yarn, and it's in big sticks. The only thing is I have to pay attention to the pattern a little bit. I'll have to relearn the pattern and then pay attention to it. But, I think it's probably time for me to pick up some old crafts like that, or, just something. I don't need any more cotton washcloths, for the love of God. So she's like, just don't. Just don't go there. Do something new. But and I've been so called to like getting more like wooden runes or wooden charms. I've been so inspired by Nina from Shuffle Tarot because I just love her toys. I love her toys that she plays with. So I'll have to be open to that, or maybe some of these casting charms too. That would be fun for me as well if I would stumble upon them, or something that would work for them. You know, like I need to, my inner child's letting me know that I need to be open to maybe finding, you know, something new that I wouldn't even have thought of. Okay, so anyways, a message from my inner child first off is to play and make things and be playful and use my hands. Yeah, what did yours say? What did yours say? So just real quick, the magician always reminds us and instructs us to unleash our magic. Unleash your magic, our inner child says. Unleash your magic. Radiate power and potency. From one seed, 1,000. Ooh. So it's like if you just plant one seed, it's going to grow that tall sunflower, which is going to create 1,000 seeds. So understand that like even the things that you think are small and insignificant, and you know, like you being playful, you being the playful seed could inspire thousands of seeds to be playful. So the power of manifestation lives within. All the information necessary to create life is contained in the seed. So it's like be the seed, know that everything's within you, connect with the elements. That's what makes the seed grow, right? The wind strengthens the stalk, the water feeds the plant, fire from the sun is converted to energy by the leaves, the earth anchors the root. So you need to be the seed, the inner child reminds us, and allow the earth, sky, wind, air, water, rain, allow all that to nurture you and help you grow and have fun with it. Have fun regardless of the weather. Nourish your ideas with the elements and watch them bloom into being. Our inner child reminds us to receive divine light from the unseen realms, right? Our unseen friends, our imaginary friends, and that I don't want to say imaginary energy. It's not like it's unreal, but no one else can see the light coming into you. But you can feel it, you can receive it, you can shape it into form, and then give it all away. So it's like a message from your inner child to me, my inner child to me, is saying make things and then just give them all away, right? Because you need to make the scarves. You need to make your little crafts or whatever it is that like you're feeling inspired to do. You need to make your videos. You need to, and then give it all away. So I love it so much. The message is be a conduit of transformation for others. So it's like that's why your one seed will turn into thousands, and then you be a conduit of transformation for others because you are sharing yourself, you are sharing your light, you are sharing your craft, you are letting other people play with you. So this totally says to learn to read casting charms for others and boost magical potency by eating some sunflower sprouts for energy. And maybe even, right now would not be a good time, but next year just plant sunflower seeds everywhere, like guerrilla gardening. Just throw those seeds, any open space, any dirt that needs a little sunshine, put it in there. Okay, so I have to laugh because now we're back in the Adelitas. This also came in with the Adelita of Earth. And so I'm back to the same page I already had the book open to. There's Ocotillo on page 98, and now 99 has Yucca. And I just heard that dumb song, 99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of beer. You take one off, you dust it off, 98 bottles of beer on the wall. And then you go the whole way through all the numbers and drive your parents batshit crazy. All right, so Yucca says to put a new spin on an old tradition, ground your spirituality in practical ways, to honor your ancestors, honor the land. So here's another freaking desert scene. Another desert scene where she's crafting out in the desert, and she's listening to the voices of her elders to urge her to ground herself by creating beauty with her hands. So isn't that funny? A message from my inner child is to listen to my elders, my elders. Oh, and play outside and connect both of these energies by creating things with my hands, beauty with my hands. That's how I can honor the earth. That's how I can create the bridge between my ancestors and all the ancestors. Here she's connecting herself with her ancestors and the ancestors of the desert. And she is making a Bridget's cross, a sacred symbol of her Celtic heritage. Now, I don't know if I have Celtic heritage because I don't really know my dad's all that stuff. But however, even getting out of biological heritage, you know, we've incarnated every which way, everywhere. So you've kind of been like if you've been on this planet, if your soul has been here for a while, you've been everything. So you probably do feel, like when I work with the Celtic trees, I feel something for them. Like I love them. So I feel like we've kind of, it's like how like some people are like, oh, I feel really connected to Pleiadians or Syrians or Arcturians. Well, to be honest, you've probably been everywhere and everything and everyone. So you got a little bit of this and that because we're all from source energy and we all have the ability to tap into collective consciousnesses. So if you feel connected to Celtic, then understand it's valid even if you don't have a Celtic grandma, okay? If you feel connected to Native American energy and you're like, I don't know why, like, I mean, I came from Africa and like, you know, like I don't think I'm a Native American Indian. Well, maybe not in this biological body, but your energy body is picking up on something. So it's like, just remember your inner child allows you to play with any toy, with any dress-up clothes, with any idea, with any energy. So make sure you're allowing yourself to do that. The Adelita of Earth, we have the Adelita of Water, the Magician, and the Adelita of Earth now. She is driven by a place of power. She embodies old traditions, but she's respectful. She does not deplete resources. She crafts all type of things with this yucca plant, baskets, rope, shoes, these beautiful little Bridget crosses that she can share with people. She vows to respect the people and medicine of her home with the spirit of the foremothers behind her. She explores nature's bounty and creates practical but intuitive connections with the land. She is committed to an earth-honoring spiritual path wherever she finds herself. She is in the service of nature without ego. She is realistic and hardworking. So I think that my inner child is noticing that aspect in me. I am a hard worker. I can still be crafty. I can still make things. I can still honor the earth. I can still, you know, make magic, even being a realistic and hardworking, practical Tarian. Anyways, honor the ancient ones. Teach the power of place. And maybe take a class learning how to do something new. So anyways, those are the messages from my inner child. Basically boils down to craft with your hands and have that magic flow through you within your creations with your earth materials. So something earthy. Try to get more earthy into your creations. But hey, if some hometown spun yarn from Walmart is the best you can do to make an infinity scarf for all your friends, then do it. Do something. All right, y'all, we've made it to our third pull from the Fairy Tarot Spread by Solstice Shop. This is a fairy dust blessing coming my way, coming your way, coming our way. A fairy dust blessing coming our way. So I would feel blessed if I was able to happily craft and make magic and have fun and drink tea, even if it was in the desert. I'm not in the desert. I'm in a rainy, very rainy day here. Rainy and overcast, but yet still green. Still very green because it's Pennsylvania. All right. A fairy dust blessing coming our way. We're going to go off the top. I'm going to put the deck away. Thank you, Herb Crafters Tarot. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And our blessing is, chamomile. The Iha of water. So this is sweet because it's like the younger version of the Adelita of water. Whereas the Adelita of water was pouring her pink tea into her blue cup in the desert, we have a little Iha, a little daughter, who's using her blue tea kettle to pour herself some yellow chamomile tea. And she's got chamomile flowers all over her wooden cutting board. And she's, the window's open. She's got a fish and a seashell and some other type of bottle on the windowsill. And the tile on the wall looks like a wave. It's blue tile and a blue counter. And then a pink, maybe washcloth or rag or pouch. I'm not sure what else is on the cutting board. Anyways, it's very sweet. She's this little, so she's got to like raise up the teapot on the counter. The Iha of water. Here's our fairy dust blessing coming. I would definitely say, this is more of our inner child. Absolutely. So much playfulness in this whole spread, especially ending with chamomile. That's also very playful. Let's see what it says in the book. A fairy dust blessing coming my way. The Iha of water says, return refreshed to a beginner's heart. Tender heart, big dreams. Calm your spirit when emotions run awry. So our blessing is, getting back to that beginner's heart and that childlike enthusiasm and crafting and making and playing and being. And yes, all this while the fairies have been very aware of our tender hearts, but yet they're saying, dream big, love big, let your love blossom, and let yourself play. Let yourself expand into that beautiful, imaginative, dreamy place that the Ihas and the inner children can take us to. Big dreams. So the child is pouring hot water over the flowers in a glass bowl. There are dried chamomile everywhere. There's a whole jar full. It's a clear day. The ocean is gleaming as if it was covered in diamonds. There is, you don't see it at first, but there is a helping hand on the edge of the teapot handle. A helper steadies the girl's hand and brings her attention back to the flowers in the water. So what does that have to do with us? A blessing coming our way. So as we get maybe a little distracted or a little wobbly, let our unseen hands, our unseen helpers, just guide us. Just bring our attention back to the now moment, what we're doing. Let ourselves be helped by our guiding hands, the hands of our spirit ancestors, guide, higher self, fairies, whoever you've asked and given permission to guide you, they are there. The Iha of water embraces her feelings with the freedom of a child. When emotions overrun and overwhelm her, she reaches out for help. She remembers the many times she was given chamomile tea when she was sad. She knows the medicine she needs, though she may not be able to prepare it on her own. Just as chamomile's sweet scent calms anxiety and brightens the spirit, the child quiets her mind and gives herself permission to be playful with her heart. Yeah, so we started off this reading, how to bring more playfulness into our life, and our blessing coming in is permission to be playful with our hearts and quiet our mind and soothe our emotion and ask for help if we need it. She embraces her dreams and often loses herself in imagination. So that is another reason why you need to protect your playpen because it's so good for you to lose yourself in play and imagination. And I'm looking at the plantain card in front of me now with the message of innocence, a return to innocence. Yes, play that song, Return to Innocence. It makes you feel like you're floating. Who sings that? Return to Innocence. You know the song. Hold on, let me open up Spotify. I can't really play it here because I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Return to Innocence. Enigma. 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 That's who. Just look it up. Type in Return to Innocence. You could type it on YouTube. It's there too. Return to Innocence. Enigma is the band, group, lady. I have no idea. I love that song. I'm going to leave that open because I'm going to listen to it after this. But if you just allow yourself to listen to that song and close your eyes if you can and float in the music, let your imagination be opened up, let your heart be opened up. Maybe a fun, playful idea will be inspired within you that you want to make, that you want to create. Just maybe the blessing itself is just being able to relax into the music, relax into your cup of tea, relax into your craft, relax into your playfulness. So yeah, our blessing is calmness coming in with chamomile. Our blessing is assistance. And our blessing is definitely allowing the love in our hearts to blossom. So that is a beautiful fairy dust blessing coming our way. Fun times, playful times, imaginative times, and joyful, in times of enjoyment. Sadie, learn how to talk. And a lot of fun with the fairies if we would like it. And I just gotta say, shout out to my inner child for bringing in 2 cards with that second pull. It looks really cool. I like what you did there. And one more shout out to Solstice Shop for this awesome layout. I love all your layouts. I should just call Tarot Spread Layout the home of the Solstice Shop favorites of Sadie Marie Cherico. Although I think that would be harder for people to remember. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, you listener, you friend of the podcast, a compadre of Ho, Herb Oracle. I appreciate you pulling cards with me. I appreciate you playing with me, having fun with me, laughing with me, letting your guard down with me. It's good to do that. It's good. It's good for us to come together and just really let more of these good vibes anchor into our beings and anchor into the world and spread. From the one seed comes thousands. I mean, you and I get together, we hang out with the fairies, and then we inspire other people to do that in the future whenever we become more playful and all of that. So I really hope you go and make yourself some tea right now, something light. Yeah, something chamomile or something ocotillo, and nourish yourself with something wholesome like sunflower seeds, and then do something wholesome with your hands. So I've really enjoyed this so much. Thank you so much. Make something, laugh with something, drink something, play with something, imagine something. Definitely do something to bring more playfulness into your life.